Good morning, our Murfreesboro friends. We're so excited that you're here with us today. My name is Devontae Kelly.
And I'm Jennifer Scott.
And we're both first grade teachers at Irma Siegel Elementary. Now, I bet you're wondering, why in the world are we wearing aprons and hats? Well, that's because today we're going to be doing some milk magic. And one thing that we want to do is make sure that we keep our clothes clean and that we don't make any huge messes. So if you have an apron or a hat, make sure you get those on and you can do our experiments with us today, okay? Now, what we're going to be doing is two fantastic experiments, and we're going to be going over these different science goals. The first thing we're going to do is determine whether the mixing of two or more substances result in a change of properties. And the second thing we're going to do today is plan and conduct an investigation to demonstrate the cause and effect relationship between vibrating materials and sounds. Now, I know that sounds super complicated, but it is not. We're going to have so much fun with this. But before we do that, Miss Scott, I heard that you had a fantastic book you wanted to read for us today.
I do. It's called Don't Give This Book a Bowl of Milk by Benjamin Burb. And it reminded me a lot of one of my favorite books that my dad used to read to me. It's called The Monster at the End of this book. So parents, I'm sure you remember this. I'm sure you love it. Read it to your kids. I remember loving it so much. But the book that I have is very much like this, except it's about milk. And it's called Don't Give This Book a Bowl of Milk. Y'all ready? All right, here we go. I see a lot of milk. Kind of looks like our experiment today, Mr. Kelly.
It does.
I don't know. There's a bowl. I don't drink milk out of a bowl. Stop! Before you go any further, read the title of this book. Don't give this book a bowl of milk. It's weird. Why? Why shouldn't you give this book a bowl of cool, creamy milk? Because milk drives cats crazy! Look at him, he's even doing the crazy symbol. Give this book something else. Anything. Give this book a rotten, stinky old fish.
Ooh, I don't think that book would like that.
I love fish, but not stinky old rotten fish. Too smelly? Look, he even has a nose pin on his nose, or a clothespin on his nose. Then give this book a flaming hot red pepper.
Ooh, that might be too spicy, Miss Scott.
Too spicy? Well, then give this book a freezing cold 10-scoop ice cream cone.
Oh, that sounds so good.
That makes me think of ice cream. Maybe we could do ice cream for breakfast. And milk. There's milk and ice cream. Too chilly? Try giving this book a sour, mouth-puckering pickle. Look, he has icicles from his ice cream. Or maybe give this book a teeth-cracking coconut. Give this book a triple-layered chocolate birthday cake. How about a foot-long submarine sandwich with extra cheese? This book would love that.
Look at that sandwich in his throat, Miss Scott.
Oh, I think
You know what might help with that?
What?
A cup of cold, creamy milk.
Did you not read the title of this book?
I
It
know,
says,
we can't
"Do
give it to
not
him."
Give this book a glass of milk. Give this book anything you want. But please don't give this book a bowl of milk. He looks so desperate. Stop, don't do it. Anything? How about a plump, juicy little mouse?
Oh no!
Oh, wait, on second thought, please give this book a bowl of milk, please, with a cherry on top. Looks like they gave him some milk.
Looks like he's got his milk.
Happy now.
Man, if I was that mouse, I'd give him that milk too, wouldn't you, Miss Scott?
I definitely would. I don't want him eating me.
Absolutely not. All right, guys. So just like with our book, when it dealt with milk, we're going to be using milk today with a couple of our experiments, okay? Our first experiment is making milk art. Miss Scott, you want to tell our friends what they're going to be needing today?
Yes, and we wanted to make sure that you guys stayed safe and you didn't have to go out and buy any ingredients because we know science is everywhere. It's in your refrigerator, it's in your pantry, it's everywhere. So we got milk, and it's best if you use whole milk because it's nice and fatty. We've got food coloring. You can use any color you want. We've got dish soap, and we got paper towels, napkins, Q-tips, cotton swabs, whatever. That's all you really need, and a pan. And last night I tried this with my family, and we tried different kinds of pans. We tried different kinds of milk. So you can try whatever you have on hand. That's all that really matters.
Oh, so what should we do with it, Miss Scott?
So the first thing you do is you want to pour a little bit on your bowl. You don't have to do too much. You don't want to waste too much. Just a little bit to cover the bottom. I'll do a little bit more. All right, make sure the milk settles. You want it kind of calm. And then this is where the creativity comes in. You can do whatever you want. You can try this several different ways. So first I'm just going to put some dots, kind of like a bullseye maybe. It's funny how this is pink or purple, but it looks like really dark on there. Blue.
Oh, my favorite color.
No, it's a pretty one. It's nice and teal. And it really doesn't matter where you put it. Just put it, I like putting it all over. Not too much, not too little, just right. All right.
Hey, I noticed something, Miss Scott.
What did you notice?
When you put that food coloring in the milk, it's not really moving a lot. It's kind of staying in the same place.
No, you would think maybe it'd mix up a little bit, but it's just hanging out, sitting on top.
Yeah, I wonder why it's not. I
maybe
wonder why it's
surface
not.
tension.
That might be it.
All right, how's that look? Anything else?
Oh, I think that looks great,
What
Miss
do y'all
Scott.
think? Thumbs up? All right. You want to just try, see what happens when we put a paper towel in it?
Yeah, let's try it. Let's see what happens.
All right. What do you think's going to happen?
Ooh, maybe when you put the paper towel in there, maybe that food coloring might move and get mixed up with that milk.
All right, let's try it. What do y'all think? If you're with somebody, tell them what you think. Think something's going to happen? All right, ready? Let's count down. 3,
3,
2,
2, 1. Oh, it didn't mix like we thought it would. Now, we can see on the paper towel.
Kind of pretty. We could do art that way, too.
Yeah, it's on the paper towel, we can see that it got on there, but it didn't really mix in with that milk right there. What do you think we can use that we have, Miss Scott, that can mix it up?
How about the dishwashing soap?
How about that dish soap?
I've done some cool experiments before with dishwashing soap and pepper, and I know dishwashing soap does all sorts of cool things. So let's see what happens now. All right, I'm just dipping my paper towel in some dishwashing soap. Y'all ready? Let's count down again. Ready?
3, 2, 1. Look at all those colors starting to mix up. That is so cool.
Like it's exploding.
How about we put some more and get them on the edges? That is so awesome. Look at all that move around.
It's still moving. Ooh, there's some blue.
Yes, my favorite.
All right, I'm gonna try a Q-tip. So you can just play around with it. You can have fun with it.
Yeah, again, like Miss Scott
There's a
said, we
little
have,
over there.
we use Q-tips, we use paper towels, cotton swabs if you have it. But let's talk super quick about why that happens, Miss Scott, because I know a lot of friends are kind of wondering, hey, why does a dishwashing liquid do that? How does that work?
I'm gonna keep playing while you're talking.
Yeah, so let's put up the slide and let's talk about how that works, okay? So with milk, it is actually made up of fats, okay? And those fats like to hold hands, like to stay together. It's kind of like they're holding hands, okay? And when we put that food coloring in there, it really lets us see where that fat is, okay? So those fats in that milk are holding hands, and when that dish soap is put in the milk with those fats, that dishwashing liquid does something amazing. It goes in with that milk and it breaks those bonds of the fats and it allows them to separate. And when you add it to the milk, the fat separates and moves. Now, normally, if you did this without food coloring, you really wouldn't be able to tell a difference. But with the food coloring, you can see all that different movement take place. And another thing that happens, like Miss Scott said before, was the surface tension. If you noticed before, when we put the food coloring on top of the milk, it kind of just sat there and stayed in place. That means that it didn't really mix up with that milk until that dish soap was added to it. So those are two huge things going on with our first experiment, that milk art. The surface tension and the breaking up of fats. How about that, Miss Scott?
Cool. It's
How
amazing.
cool was that?
I love it. And it keeps going. Like, while you were talking about all that and that slide was on, I was just sitting here and I was watching it and it was still expanding.
Awesome. That is so cool. All right, now we're going to put up one more slide to talk about what are some extra things that you can do with our milk art, okay? So some things that might change it is, what if you didn't have cold milk? What if it was a little bit warmer than usual?
And I do say I did try this last night. I tried the little bit warmer milk, and it did go a lot faster.
Oh, so maybe if
that
you
might
want
be a tip, my little pro tip right there.
Yeah, faster, you might want to use warmer milk. You could also try with different types of milk. We used whole milk here, but you could also use 1% milk, 2% milk, and see what happens. Do you think that if you use different types of milk, that it would behave differently? And then one last thing is, if you don't have milk, that's okay. Try it with water and see if it does the same thing. Okay? You could also try smaller bowls, bigger bowls, and one of the experiments that I've done, Miss Scott, was I actually put pepper in mine before, and if you do that, you will see all the pepper flakes move away from the dish soap. So those are some cool extensions that you can do with this milk art.
You could try it in a rectangular pan. Maybe the shape of the pan could affect it too.
Absolutely.
So many things we could do. Now, again, we don't want to waste any milk. We don't want to waste anything. So we thought we could do another experiment. This is still so pretty.
It is.
You'll see it? And be careful. Remember, if you make a mess, just clean it up. Mom and Dad will not mind you doing science at home, especially if you help clean up. All right, so I'm going to use that leftover milk. And let's say you've tried it a bunch of different times. I'm going to add a little bit more milk so we have some milk in here. But just use your leftover milk so you don't waste it. And we're going to pour it into some glasses. And it's best if you have a stemmed glass. Any kind of stemmed glass, I think, works best. And let's pour it in. Try some different levels, like a little bit in this one, a little bit more in that one. More in that one. How about the most in here?
Oh yeah, I like that.
I'm gonna pour a little bit more milk in here.
While she's doing that, this next experiment is called a milk symphony. What we're gonna try to do today is we're gonna try to make music with our milk. Now, Miss Scott, how in the world do you think we're gonna make music with these different glasses with milk in it?
I don't know, we could blow bubbles in it.
Oh, well, do you think that would make a sound?
Probably not.
Probably not.
And definitely, it looks really tasty. Don't drink it.
Oh,
Because
you
what did we put in
definitely
here?
don't.
Lots of soap. So don't drink it. Even though it looks good, it looks like a purple milkshake, kind of. Don't drink it. Don't do it.
All right, guys, for our next experiment, what we're going to do is we're actually going to take these different glasses and we are going to take our finger and we're going to get it wet just a little bit, not too much.
You both do it?
Absolutely.
All right.
And what you're going to do is you're going to take your finger and you're going to rub it around your glass. And what should happen is it should start to make a singing sound. Let's see if it'll work.
I'll try over here. I hear it. Do you hear it?
I hear it too. Hopefully you guys can hear it too. If not, try and see. We do have some mics and it might not pick it up, but hopefully you can hear the different sounds. And wait a minute, Miss Scott, I noticed something while you're doing that.
What'd you notice?
I noticed that your sound is a whole lot higher than my sound. I can hear yours has a high pitch, but when I do mine, it's a little bit lower, and it's also just a little bit louder too.
It is. Maybe we'll try one of these medium ones. What's kind of medium?
Even
right
that one sounds different too. Hey, I have an idea. What if we took more milk and added it in there, and let's see what happens, because this one was higher. This one had a little bit more, so it was a little bit louder and a little bit lower, a little bit louder, a little bit lower. So let's add some more milk to this one, and let's see if it changes the sound.
Can't wait.
Let's see.
Whoa, that definitely sounds deeper.
Whoa, that is definitely deeper
And it
than
reminds
all
me
the
of like
other sounds.
the cello versus the violin.
I wonder why that works, Miss Scott. Why do you think that happens?
I don't know. I mean, it must be something to do with how much space is on the inside. Listen to that.
Yeah, what definitely has to do with how much milk you put in there, absolutely. Let's go to our next slide and talk about how this works.
Because all this stuff is fun. We love doing that kind of stuff. But the real fun is finding out why. It's really, we call this milk magic, but it's really science.
Absolutely.
So tell us why.
So, small vibrations are made when you take your finger with water and you run it across your glass, okay? And when your finger goes around that glass, it makes sound waves which travels through the milk and the glass. Now, just like we found out earlier, the more milk in the glass means the slower vibrations and it has a deeper sound. But hey, you want to know what, Miss Scott? There's one thing that we didn't mention that they have to make sure they do. You have to make sure that your finger is wet. Because if you dry it off and you try it, it's silent. There's not any sound coming off of that. And do you know why that happens, Miss Scott?
No, tell me.
So, on your finger, there are some oils on your finger that might prevent.
So wash hands? Should we wash the hands? We've been doing that a whole lot, so that's perfect.
Wash those hands and get those off and make sure that your fingers are nice and wet. So that way, when your finger runs across it, you have those different vibrations going on. You can hear those high-pitched sounds, those low-pitched sounds, and see what type of things you can do, okay? Now let's talk about some extensions. What are some extra things you can do with your experiment? Let's look at this slide right here. So, some different extensions with this is, what would happen if you tried different liquids? What if you tried water instead of milk? I wonder if it would make those same sounds.
So you could get the same cup, same amount of liquid, but try one with milk and maybe one with water or one with juice.
Yeah, absolutely. Another thing you can do is try changing your cup. You heard us talk at the beginning that we wanted to use stemmed cups, but what if you didn't use a stemmed cup? What if you used a regular glass cup? Or what if you used a plastic cup or a metal cup? I wonder if those same vibrations would happen in those.
Or even a cup that has a smaller, I don't know what you call this, body. You know, like a shorter.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
inside.
Maybe a cup that's short and a cup that's tall, and see if those will make sounds. And then one of my personal favorites, Miss Scott, is when you make those sounds, can you make a song out of it? I saw someone play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star using these cups with milk.
How cool would that be if like someone did that and sent us a video?
Oh, that would be awesome.
So fun.
Oh.
And we could sing along. We sing so well. I'll sing along. If someone sends me a video, I'll sing along with it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, these were some fantastic experiments that we did today, but there's one more smaller thing that we want to talk about, and that is once you're done using your milk jug. That means you and your family have used all your milk and the jug is now empty. What are some different things that you can do with it? Since last week was Earth Day, we found a couple of things that we could do with our empty jugs at home to repurpose them. All right, and now let's look at these slides and let's see what we can do with those. Oh, I see one thing you can do is you can make a planter out of it. So you can cut them out, add some dirt and your favorite seeds, and you can grow plants with them. What else do you see, Miss Scott?
I don't know. It looks like a bird feeder. Like you could cut that out. I know some of my students have shown me pictures of birds' nests because it's springtime, and I've seen some eggs. So this could be a little place the birds can come and build a nest, or a bird feeder. You could put some bird seed in there. And that last one, look at that last one.
Oh, I think that last one would be one of my favorites, Miss Scott, because I love to keep some coins. That last one, you don't even have to do anything with. Just clean it out.
Say, clean it out.
Clean it out, let it dry, and you can make it your own personal money bank. You can put all your pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters, and you can save up your money. How cool is that?
That would be awesome. And then you could, when you have a bunch, you could even put marks, and you could measure it on the side. how much money you have and watch it grow.
Absolutely.
And then you could dump it out and you could count it, put it in groups.
Oh, that would be so much fun. All right, guys, just like Miss Scott said, there is science everywhere, at home, outside, in your kitchen, in your room. All you have to do is just look out there and find it.
Now, do you think we still have time?
Oh, I wonder if we have time to read your
my book?
Yes. How does that sound?
All right, I didn't know if we'd have time for this, but we do have time. So, is it best if I show it like this? Okay, so this is called The Monster at the End of this book. Now, you might want, it's a little scary because there's a monster in it.
Oh, I don't know, Miss
Are you gonna be okay
Scott.
with this?
I'll try my best.
All right, this is starring lovable, furry, old Grover. Hello, everybody! Love Grover. What? This is a very dull page. What's on the next page? Look, he's turning the page himself. What? What did that say? On the first page, what did that say? Did it say there will be a monster at the end of this book? It did. I'm so scared of monsters. Oh, Grover, it's going to be okay. Shh. Listen, I have an idea. If you do not turn any pages, we will never get to the end of this book. And that's good because there is a monster at the end of this book. So please don't turn the page.
Ooh, please don't turn the page, Miss Scott. Please don't.
Guess what? I'm going to turn the page. I know all my readers out there want to see what's on the next page. Ready? You turned the page! Grover, he's a little dramatic. Maybe you do not understand. You see, turning the pages will bring us to the end of this book. And there is a monster at the end of this book. But this will stop you from turning pages. See? I'm tying the pages together. So you cannot. You turned another page! I do like his problem solving though. He's thinking a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You do not know what you are doing to me. Now, stop turning pages! Grover. There. I, Grover, am nailing this page to the next one so that you will not be able to turn it. And we will not get any closer to the monster at the end of this book.
Ooh, that'll stop you from turning that page,
Yes,
Miss Scott.
I don't know. Let me try. Ooh, whoop. Actually, it was pretty easy. All right. Do you know that every time you turn another page, you're not only getting us closer to the monster at the end of this book, but you'll make a terrible mess. And we did say clean up your mess.
Yeah, we did say that.
This will stop you from turning pages. A heavy, thick, solid, strong brick wall. I would just like to see you try and turn this page.
Oh, Miss Scott, you'll never get past that brick wall.
Do you want to try it? You want to see if you can do it?
Oh, let's see. I got through.
Do you know that you are very strong? So strong. Poor Grover. The next page is the end of this book. And there is a monster at the end of this book. I'm so scared. Please, do not turn this page. Please.
Please, Miss Scott, please.
Should I just stop? Close the book, be done?
Oh, but I see that the page is already starting to turn. Oh.
Well, look at that. That's the end of the book. And the only one here is me. I, lovable, furry old Grover, am the monster at the end of this book. And you were so scared. I told you there was nothing to be afraid of. The end. Oh, it all turns out. Oh, I'm so embarrassed.
Everything turned out fine.
Grover, sometimes we do get nervous about some things, but in the end we find out it's all okay.
Mm-hmm. It's that perseverance that he had,
Yes.
that we had.
I love it. I just remember as a kid being so nervous and so scared every time my dad turned that page, and I was so glad and so relieved at the very end when it was just Grover. Nothing to be afraid of.
Nothing to be afraid of. All right, guys, we hope you enjoyed this as much as we did, and we hope to see you next time with our next experiment that'll be going up, all right?
What are some other experiments they could try at home? Like, what are some things that we could do? Remember when we researched, we found milk paper?
Oh, my goodness, Miss Scott.
And remember where they took the You could make like your own little snowflakes. See how this went through? That was just for me touching it one time, but you could take your napkins and you could dye them, like tie-dye.
Absolutely.
Since we didn't get to tie-dye. So you could do tie-dye. We saw how you could make paper out of milk. Do you remember that?
Absolutely, your own milk or own paper.
That would take too long for us to do here, so we didn't do that here. But if you look up different things online, there's so much you can do with just milk around your house.
Absolutely.
So, should we play a song? You want to try to play a song?
Sure, Miss Scott. Why not?
Let's add some milk. All right.
What song should we play?
How about Twinkle Twinkle? Happy Birthday. I don't know if we can do that.
I don't know if we can do that one.
Yeah.
I think we might
We
need.
just try and make sounds. Can y'all hear that? That one's not working?
No, you try that one. It
All
didn't
right,
work
let's
with my
see.
finger.
Ooh.
There it is.
Sometimes you have to press a little bit harder too.
Absolutely.
I don't know for the musicians. We'll leave that up to our music teacher.
Absolutely.
And all of our friends out there, because I'm sure y'all can do a better job. Ooh, there, I like that one.
There's that one.
That's a deep one. All right, well, we just have a couple more minutes. So we really enjoyed today, and we really hope that you guys have some fun with milk. Again, remember, we're going to clean this all up. Your parents won't mind if you do stuff like this, as long as you clean up. You're responsible, and make sure to ask them first before you do that. Do you have anything to say to
No, ma'am.
firsties?
Oh, to my sweet first grade friends.
No.
I know that all my friends are out there watching, and I hope that you enjoyed this as much as we did. I cannot wait to see you send pictures in of all your different experiments. Anything you want to say to your friends, Miss Scott?
Yeah, I just want to give a big shout out to all my students, all the students out there, all my friends, all my family, and show us. I want to see it all. I want to see all the experiments, and you know I love science, and so I'm going to try all the stuff you send me at home too. So look up things online, see what you can find. Make it easy. Science is everywhere. Just do it. Do it. Send it to me. I love it. I love seeing your faces. I hope you enjoyed seeing our faces.
All right, until next time, guys. See ya.